Hey guys, this is heyybritny and welcome back to my channel. In this video, we are going to be reacting to the breakup of Jana Craig and Kenny Rodriguez from Love Island Season 6, so let's talk about it. So I ran to record this video once I saw the news. It came in from a TMZ alert on my phone that I have for the Apple News app, and when I saw the banner, I was like, oh my god, wait, you're kidding, right? Because this gave me Scandal vibe. I think I was probably watching something, the news came in, and then I was freaking out. I ran to Reddit to see what people were saying about the news, because I know that Scandal, which is from Vanderpump Rules, that is really going to be big within the Bravo universe, but that went viral. That was everywhere. It captivated literally the entire United States of America. Everybody was talking about that, and it helped that they were live airing the next season while the news broke, so everyone was tuned in to the new episodes to figure out what was going on, to see what clues they could catch and all of that stuff. So I wonder if people are going to be doing that with Love Island as well, being that they just aired the new show Love Island Beyond the Villa that has the PPG group from Love Island. So Janae, Serena, Kayla, what's the other girl's name? Liv. Okay, yeah, Liv. Those girls plus Connor plus Kenny. Cordell is not like a main cast member. And then we also have Aaron. He came in. And then I feel like I'm missing somebody. Miguel and Leah, if I didn't say them already. So I was really excited about the spinoff because I loved the season 6 cast of Love Island. I feel like they were well cast, and I think I've seen season 5 and maybe a little bit of season 4, but I didn't really get attached to any other season the way that I did with season 6. I don't know what it was about that casting, that group. They were just magical together and really captivating, so they deserve all of the recognition, the brand deals, and all of the opportunities that they're getting as a result of being on season 6 and putting on a great display of reality television. Going into this news of the breakup, so there were mixed reactions. I feel like from social media, there were some people saying that they were really surprised by this. Other people were saying that they weren't really surprised by it, basically, and just that they picked up on red flags that he was either giving during the Love Island season 6 or just whatever they saw on social media. So I do not actively follow anybody on social media as far as celebrities, so I have no idea what these people are posting on the day-to-day in their regular lives. So I may go and look at their page if something big happens and I want to just see what they've been posting, what people are saying, that sort of thing. And so I did go look at their Instagram. I looked at Janae's Instagram, and I knew that from what the report said and what other people were saying on Reddit and on TikTok, people were saying that she scrubbed her Instagram, so she doesn't really have him on there. He's not in her bio. And then she also took off pictures of him, but left up ads that they have together. So I wanted to see just what her Instagram was looking like. And then I also just wanted to see older videos of her just to see how she looked, even though that has nothing to do with what we're talking about right now, but I am going to bring that up later. And so I was just curious to see what was happening on social media. I didn't really go to Kenny's page. I didn't really have an interest in that. I just wanted to go to Janae's page and see if she had anything up. But then I also know that the rest of the group unfollowed Kenny as well. I know that Leah did. I think Serena did. And then I think Miguel did. And I think Cordell did as well. Kayla did. I saw that in a different article. So there's a lot going on. This is definitely going to shake up the Love Island world. And now I don't know how big this is going to be compared to Scandal. I don't know if this is going to be as big as Scandal or if it's not going to quite hit the mark, because I think Love Island actually probably has a bigger audience or fan base than Bravo or than Vanderpump Rules, just because you have to really be attached to the people on the show, because yes, they've rotated people out, but for the most part it's been the same core people on Vanderpump Rules since season 1. Now with Love Island, obviously you're rotating out a new cast of people, and then you have some people coming back on the next season and so on. So you do have people making appearances or doing repeat seasons, whatever. So I feel like Love Island probably has a bigger fan base than Vanderpump Rules. So this could be the next Scandal. We'll just keep our eyes peeled to see how exactly this all pans out. So now there's some other stuff that I want to get into. So as far as the breakup, the rumors are, from what I'm seeing online, is that they did attend a party together, and then I guess after that party, maybe within 24 hours, Janae had scrubbed her Instagram and had taken him out of her bio. So this seems to be a steady development. It's not like this was something that she knew kind of for a while and then it just came out. It seems like all of this just happened. And what I saw in a TikTok that was linked in Reddit was that Kenny was cheating with a girl and that girl approached him at the party, and this is how everything kind of kicked off. So I don't know how true that is. Hopefully we get confirmation and we find out more. I did see one Reddit comment where somebody was talking about how they wish that they would pick up the cameras again like they did for Scandal for pickup scenes once the news broke. It would be really good to do that. I don't know if this cast will do that, but I know from a reality TV standpoint and a fan standpoint, that is something that I would want to see. Also, they could just go on TikTok, their Instagrams and all of that stuff and post content there about what's happening. I don't know how private this is going to be. I don't know if her friends and the other castmates are going to speak out about this, but hopefully we get some more information about what's going on. Okay, so I want to kind of dive into Love Island and season 6 a little bit more. So as I mentioned earlier, I did not watch Love Island. I only got into season 6 because of Scandal and everything going on with Ariana. She is the host, I think, for season 6, season 7, and maybe season 8. I'm not 100% sure what her contract looks like, but because of all of the hype around Ariana and then also people really hyping up Love Island, I did want to watch season 6 just to see what the hype was about. And season 6 for me lived up to all of the hype that I had been hearing about, and there's just something magical about when you watch a show for the first time and everything is perfect, everything is well cast, well done, well produced and all of that stuff. And so I don't know if another season of Love Island would do that for me, but for me this is just kind of like the attention that the season 6 cast of Love Island is getting is comparable to the hype that Jersey Shore is getting in its first like 4 seasons, how they had people following them around everywhere while they were filming and all of that stuff. It was really crazy. So I think it's comparable to Jersey Shore's run and then also to Scandal. But again, I don't really know how big this whole scandal is going to be. Also, what I wanted to mention in relation to that is something that I read was that maybe Janae, I keep wanting to say Jana, maybe Janae and Kenny were supposed to be on the previous season, maybe season 5 or something like that, and for whatever reason they both turned it down and ended up doing season 6 together. So if that's true, that's even more crazy because a lot of people are saying that they were basically made for each other, they were a perfect match, and so now you have all of this stuff happening. We don't know what's going to happen from here. We know that they've broken up, or at least they're maybe not speaking, but we don't know if they're going to get back together, how this is going to play out. Will she feel the pressure to follow in Ariana's lead and leave Tom Sandoval? I feel like Ariana didn't really have a choice because Tom Sandoval really wanted to be with Raquel or Rachel. I don't know what the situation is here. Does Kenny want to get back together? Does he want to fix things? Or is he choosing this other girl over Janae? So there's a lot of things that we have to consider here while we're talking about this story because we don't know all of the little details. And I think in the Sandoval situation, those little details really mattered because Ariana didn't have a choice to get back with Sandoval, in my opinion. So that made it a little bit more clear how she was going to operate. And in this situation, I don't know if it's Janae's choice to walk away. Is she kind of forced to walk away because he wants to be with somebody else? What is the situation? So I know that seems probably insensitive to talk about, but these are the little details that people are going to want to know if they're super obsessed with this story, and it is a huge story. So now going back to Love Island season 6 when they were actually on the show. So we all know that Janae had a hard time finding a partner and staying matched with someone. So she was frequently, I can't recall what the word is, coupled up. So she was frequently coupled up with people, but then she just kind of she wasn't the one who was chosen, if that makes sense. And so Kenny came into the picture, they were together, he brought somebody else back to the house when they split up into the 2 different houses. She was really upset about that. They got back together, and I think she made a big deal about it, but then she kind of like backtracked and she apologized for it and they kind of work things out. And so what I find curious is that we know that Janae has had a lot of work done, nothing wrong with that, but why is it exactly that she was having a hard time finding someone to connect with on the show up until Kenny? And then I feel like that's a little bit controversial too, because then we're putting the pressure on women to keep a man's attention and all of that stuff. But I am really curious about why that is. Is it a race thing? Is it a appearance thing? What is going on here that is making men kind of back away from Janae. Now, that does lead me into a conversation about beauty standards because, as I mentioned, Janae has had a lot of work done. I believe she's had her nose done. I know that she had lip fillers and then she's had her butt done. I don't know about any other work that she's had done, but she is not alone. There's a lot of women on the show who have had work done. We know that Leah's had her butt done. I believe Kayla has had her lips done. I don't know about anything else. And then Serena seems to be the most natural, but she also had trouble being coupled up and finding someone to be with. Cordell was really the one who was pursuing her and really trying to make that relationship work, and she just wasn't really sure about what she wanted. She friend zoned him and all of that stuff. And so going back to beauty standards, what does all of this say about beauty standards? Because I know that some people say that women dress up and they care about their appearance for women, then other women do it for men. So I'm not sure what's happening here in terms of beauty standards. Is it that men do not like the way that women look nowadays, and so they're looking for something different? So in Janae's case, I know that the girl that he brought back, she was either Dominican or some type of Hispanic, and Kenny is obviously Dominican, and so I don't know if it was a cultural thing and that he just wanted to be with another Dominican, because obviously Janae is black, she's darker skin, he's lighter skin. Is it that she was not his type and he was intrigued by her, he was interested in her, he did like her, but she's not his type? Is that what's going on here? So these are all a lot of good questions. I also do want to call out one thing going back to what Kenny's type is. I found it interesting that we all know that the heart rate challenge for season 6 was crazy. Janae should have won that hands down, but what they really do is they have all of the participants do a little dance or whatever to get the opposite gender's heart rate up. And so we have, I think the guys went first and then the girls went, I can't recall, but Janae was the last one to go, and this scene was so iconic. I played it like 12 dozen times. We have Kenny prepping the guys like, hey, brace yourselves, because she's coming out to do her thing, whatever. She goes crazy. She pulls him down to the floor. She dances on him. She tells him, hey, watch this. She goes to the whole crew, and then he's just like looking at her like this as she's doing her thing and whatever. The interesting part came when they gave the results for the heart rate challenge. We had Janae getting her heart rate up the highest for Kenny, which makes sense. If she's not attracted to the other men, then obviously she's going to be more reactive to whatever Kenny's doing. So I feel like maybe she controlled that a little bit. And then also with Kenny, his was not the highest for Janae. It was actually the highest for Kayla, which I found very interesting. And again, that's why I'm asking the question about what Kenny's type is, because we saw the girl that he brought back to the house, and then also this heart rate challenge is the highest for Kayla. Kayla and Janae look nothing alike. They don't act anything like, so that was super interesting for me. And I don't know if some people would be like, hey, that's a red flag because he isn't reacting the most to his partner or the person that he's coupled up with. Now, a lot of people mentioned that they saw red flags just in how Kenny was interacting with Janae. It seemed like from everything I saw on the show and the bits and pieces that I saw here and there, that he really seemed into her. He was complimenting her, making her feel good about herself and all of that stuff. And I don't know if their relationship was for show, because obviously the point is to get coupled up, display a great relationship, and then win the challenge. So obviously they didn't win. Cordell and Serena won. I was super happy for them because Cordell seemed really genuine this whole time. He pursued Serena. When she brushed him off, he pursued other people, and then she kind of wanted him back and all of this stuff. And so I think that Serena and Cordell went through the most as a couple on the show, and they really deserve to win. And I think their relationship may seem more genuine just because of the dynamic and the push and pull, whereas with Janae and Kenny, I don't really know how to describe it. Like, I know I said earlier that they were supposed to be on the last season together maybe, and then they were both on this season, and so it just seemed like it was the stars were in line for them to meet in this season and get together. But I also know that Janae, I don't know how you describe her personality. I don't think she's cleaning or anything like that, but she's really kind of, I don't really know how to describe it. It's not ditzy, but it's just, she's all over Kenny and she's fawning over him and all of that stuff. And I don't know how much men like that. And so that's super interesting that she's like that. On top of how she dresses, she looks high maintenance. She looks beautiful, she looks gorgeous, but she also looks high maintenance. And so I don't know, I don't wear makeup every day. I don't wear makeup at all. So I would just be exhausted with having to dress up and all of that stuff the way that she does. And so I wonder how men feel about that when they are with a woman who does all of that stuff to go out for the day, to look nice for the day, whatever. And so I'm just super interested in how their relationship was off the show. I know that we're going to see that in Love Island Beyond the Villa, but I don't know how much of it we're going to see that we wouldn't have seen when they were in the house together. So hopefully they kind of get out of that influencer lifestyle when they're filming Love Island Beyond the Villa. I'm not sure if they do or not, but I did see a comment where people were saying that they didn't think that he was the influencer type. And obviously Janae, she has her appearance a certain way because she wants the attention. She's trying to keep the attention. And so she is going to be drawn to that influencer lifestyle because that is what's going to make her money, that is going to be her income, and so on. But Kenny, if he's not into that, he's just not going to do all of that. I also, from watching Siesta Key, there's a girl up there, Juliet Porter. She was with Alex, I think. They broke up. She was with somebody else, and then she was dating somebody else, and he didn't want to be on the show. And so all of the castmates were like, hey, that's weird that he's dating you but doesn't want to be on the show. And so I feel like that's really hard to make a relationship work if you have someone who loves to be in front of the camera and is supposed to be in front of the camera, but there was someone who doesn't really like that. And so how does that work? Does that create conflict? Because you're filming all the time, he's not going to want to be around, he's not going to be involved in all of that stuff. And so I'm not sure how much that played a role in what happened here. If it was that one, they were just putting on a show for the camera. A lot of people did say that they thought that she was more into him than he was into her, and I can definitely see that. And also I don't know what their relationship was like off camera, behind closed doors, and all of that stuff. I do know that from what I've seen on Love Island Beyond the Villa, I've only seen the first episode. I was really excited that they did the spin-off because, again, I think season 6 of Love Island was so well done. This cast does deserve all of the opportunities that they have coming their way. And so I was very surprised to learn in episode 1 that they live next door to each other. I don't know if they live literally right next door, if they're just on the same floor in the same area, whatever, but they do not live together. They were talking about moving in together, and it seemed like he was kind of on the fence about that. And then also, I did not like the scene where, obviously, we know that Janae has beef with Connor because Connor said some rude comments about her. I can't recall exactly what he said, but I think he basically dumped Janae for Leah when he had the chance to move on with someone else, and then he just kind of dissed her in his whatever statement he gave about why he chose that person over Janae or whatever. So Janae hates him for that, and she wants Kenny to kind of inherit that beef and not talk to Connor, not interact with him. And so in this episode 1 of Love Island Beyond the Villa, Kenny is talking to Janae about, how are you going to be around Connor, all of that stuff. And then we see Connor talking to Aaron about Janae and how he's going to handle that dynamic, how he wants to approach it. And then Connor says that he DM'd Janae. Janae says she doesn't check her DM, so she didn't see it, whatever. But they are at this party, and I think Connor ends up walking up to Kenny and he wants to talk to him. So they go to a different area. They're talking, and Janae's watching all of his stuff. I really did not like how she came over and she tried to pull Kenny away and like, hey, let's go get drinks and all of that stuff. Like, just let the men talk. You don't need to come over and interrupt. You've already said how you feel about him talking to Connor. He's talking to Connor. He's allowed to squash that, whatever. He can absolutely advocate for you when he's speaking to Connor, and you should let him do that. So I didn't like the way that she came over, tried to interrupt or stop whatever is going on. And so I don't know if they've had any conversations about that, because the way that she did that reminds me of, what's her name in The Valley, the one they keep calling a Karen, Jana. So Jana and Jason. So Jana is kind of like that with Jason, where she's kind of pulling him around, telling him what to do and all of that stuff. And we do see Jason pushing back on that a little bit. He's like, hey, talk to me before you make decisions. Hey, don't say that or whatever. And so I can see that with Janae and Kenny kind of being an issue, where she's kind of trying to control how he responds to things, how he reacts to things. And so I wonder if we'll see any of that play out more on Love Island Beyond the Villa. Alrighty, so that's everything that I wanted to talk about in this video. Again, super short video, just a quick reaction to the news of Kenny and Jana breaking up. Are you still shocked by this news? I know that I still am. Once I'm done with this video, I'm gonna edit this video, get it posted, and then I'm just gonna be scrolling on Instagram, TikTok, and Reddit to see what I can find, any other details I can find out about this. And let me know in the comments below if you think this is going to be like scandal. Do you think it's going to be bigger? What are your thoughts on Kenny and Jana breaking up? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.